Hello, my name is Chloe. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm bringing to you my May book haul. So you know how I said that April's book haul was just excessive and it didn't ever need to happen again? This one's bigger. I think I have 49 books here, which is ridiculous. I know it is. It's so ridiculous, I need help. But I have been trying to explain this to people as buying books is my one sort of outlet right now. It's one of the few things that is putting a smile on my face, is buying and receiving books. So I'm not going to feel too bad about it. I've not actually spent too much money here. The money isn't the issue. If the money was the issue, I'd probably have a better hold on it. But it's just the space and the opinion of others that makes me want to stop doing these book hauls. Let's see. There shouldn't be many, I'm already going to jinx it, but there shouldn't be many books coming into my life in June, and hopefully not July, maybe towards the end of July. I am organising a trip down to London with some bookish friends, so there is likely to be a bit of book shopping involved in that arrangement. But yeah, this month we have gifts. We have so many lovely gifts. We have a lot from BookSwap, more than I thought until I gathered them all together. We have a come book shopping with me video I did, and we have some charity shop finds. So I'm going to start off with the charity shop stuff. So there are only 5 books here I got from charity shops. I think in total I spent about £3 on these 5 books. The first one I got was The Manifesto on How to Be Interesting by Holly Bourne. I don't know too much about this one. I can't give you massive synopses for these because we would be here all day. But this one, I have not liked any of Holly Bourne's work. And a lot of people that really like her say that they hate this one. So I'm thinking this is going to be the one for me. And also I was pulled in by the sprayed edges. I will already say it sounds like my upstairs neighbours are having another domestic. So if you can hear any of that, I'm sorry, but I was trying to get the last of the daylight. The next book I got was The Lost British Serial Killer, Closing the Case on Peter Tobin and Bible John by David Wilson and Paul Harrison. So I'm trying to get a little bit more into reading non-fiction, particularly true crime. And this is a case that does really interest me. Well, there's 2 cases here, Peter Tobin and Bible John. And this book is discussing both of those and mapping whether Peter Tobin was Bible John. I don't know enough about it to give you a full-on breakdown right now, but I know that I'm going to be really interested to read this. There are a lot of pictures. There are a lot of police files, so I think this is going to be a good one, and I'm really happy I found it in a charity shop. Next, we have a booktube darling, potentially, and that is The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell. So a lot of people have been reading this lately. It's becoming Lisa Jewell is a new big thriller author. I don't know if she herself is that new or whether booktube is just gravitating to her books right now. But this is about a large house in Chelsea where a baby is awake in her cot. While fed and cared for, she is happily waiting for someone to pick her up. In the kitchen lie 3 decomposing corpses. Close to them is a hastily scrawled note. They've been dead for several days. Who has been looking after the baby and where did they go? Very excited to pick this one up. I now have 3 Lisa Jewell books, so hopefully I'll make this the first one I get to. Next, we have one I literally never heard of. I was just pulled in by the pinkness of it, and that is The Piano Man Project by Kat French. This says finding love isn't always black and white. Honey Jones has a problem. She's never had a boyfriend who's really done it for her. Luckily, her best friends Nal and Tash are determined to help, and so the hunt for Honey's perfect man begins. But when a stranger moves into the flat opposite, their plan goes awry. Hal is secretive, bad-tempered, and ticks none of Honey's boxes, except maybe one. I think it sounds sweet. It's like a 400-page romance book, but I feel like it could be an easy, summery read. And speaking of easy summary reads, we have The Fill-In Boyfriend by Casey West. So I grabbed this floppy paperback. I've read most of Casey West's books now, and this is one that was on my radar, but I wasn't massively reaching for. I normally give her books 3 or 4 stars, and I find them really easy reads. So when I saw it in a charity shop, I had to grab it. I won't read the back of this, it's quite long, but I think it's a fake dating turns real dating situation, which we always love. Now I need a drink. Okay, I think I'm gonna go on to BookSwap Books next. And there are 10 of these, so let's not spend too long, Chloe. The first one I have here is one of my favourite books of the year so far, and this is not the copy I read. I read the audiobook and was looking for a physical copy for myself. So when I saw The One by John Mars on BookSwap, I had to grab it. This is in perfect condition, but it is a little mass market paperback. Just to highlight the size difference for you, it is teeny tiny, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because I have a dedicated section for these on my shelves, so it can go there nicely next to my mass market Twilight. So, you know, keeping all my favourites together. If you've not heard anything about this book, this is a slight kind of sci-fi take on today's world, where there is a test you can do with your DNA to find your perfect match. You'll be told their details and you can decide whether to go and meet them, but they are like guaranteed to be your number one love. There's a lot of different characters in this. We have a serial killer character, which is my absolute favourite, and I genuinely cannot wait to reread this. Next, we have one I've seen going around BookTube for years and just didn't really grab it, but now was the time, and that is Harley in the Sky by Akemi Dawn Bowman. Oh my god, it's signed. I had no idea. What a win. Okay, maybe I'm completely wrong because this says 2020, so I've just made that fact up. I've not seen this going around for years. Don't know what I was on about, but this is a trapeze artist whose parents, her parents run a circus. Yeah, her parents run a famous circus in Las Vegas. She spends almost every night in the big top watching their lead aerialist. After a huge fight with her parents, who continue to insist she goes to school instead, Harley leaves home, betrays her family, and joins the rival travelling circus. So a circus story that seems YA. Yeah, it is YA. It says teen. A YA circus story. What could go wrong? Next, another thriller that seems to be doing the rounds, and that is Haven't They Grown by Sophie Hannah. This is about Flora. Flora lives near here. We haven't spoken in 12 years. I wonder what she looks like now. All Beth has to do is drive her son to his football match, watch him play, and then drive home. But the knowledge that her former best friend lives nearby is all-consuming. She can't resist. She parks opposite the house and is still there when Flora and her children return home. Except something's not right. 12 years ago, Thomas and Emily were 5 and 3 years old. Today they look exactly the same. They haven't changed at all. How is this possible? Beth knows it isn't, yet she also knows what she saw and that it was real. And having seen it, how can she forget? But yeah, I know absolutely nothing. Like, I've heard people haul this and I haven't heard any reviews. So I've now joined on that haul train. So if some of us can start reading it, that would be perfect. Or if you have read this, let me know what you think. Next, my first dip into manga this month. It's not the only one I have here, and that is Death Note, the Black Edition, Volume 1. So it contains Volumes 1 and 2. I have seen the live action movie of this, but I've not seen the anime. I loved the live action movie. I thought it was really good. And this is the first manga I've ever owned. So the whole reading it backwards thing is gonna throw me off. I know it is, but I can't wait to just give this a go. I don't think that this is gonna be too challenging to wrap my head around, seeing especially as I know the story from the movie. But yeah, I'm just excited to dive into manga. I am sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong for everyone. I've tried manga and manga, saying them both in my head, and manga sounds better to me, so that's what we're going with. Oh, and the second one I have that I've just found is next in the pile is Fruits Basket Volume 1 by Natsuki Takaya. So this is about the zodiac signs, and it says, a family with an ancient curse and the girl who will change their lives forever. Tohuru Honda was an orphan with no place to go until the mysterious Soma family offered her a place to call home. Now her ordinary high school life is turned upside down as she's introduced to the Soma's world of magical curses and family secrets. Discover for yourself the secret of the zodiac and find out why Fruits Basket has won the hearts of readers the world over. So this says teen romance on the back of it. I know that Cole has watched the anime and he really enjoyed the anime, so I want to give the manga a go, and it seems really cute and it's very short. Now on to, again, I seem to have a lot of mangas, comic books and non-fiction, which is not normally my thing, but one non-fiction I found on BookSwap was It's Not Okay to Feel Blue and Other Lies, curated by Scarlett Curtis. So this one has been kind of on my radar for a while now. So when I saw the hardback being offered on BookSwap, I snapped it up. It is a chunker. but this is a compilation of inspirational people open up about their mental health. And I'm really intrigued by it because there are a lot of famous names in here, and I just want to get some of these messages into my own head, because I feel like it's going to be really good to hear other people's stories. People on here that I'm excited to read from, we have Fern Cotton, Miranda Hart, Scarlett Moffat. So there's definitely some people on here that I'm interested to see their stories and yeah, find out how it's this big as well. The next non-fiction I have is Mindhunter, Inside the FBI Elite Serial Crime Unit by John Douglas and Mark Olshaker. This does say now a Netflix original series. I do need to watch the series, but I'm gonna try and give the book a go first. The podcast that is my number one favourite, Small Town Murder, the amount of times one of the hosts references this book meant that I just had to give it a go. So this is, in Mindhunter, the FBI special agent who was the inspiration for Jack Crawford's character in The Silence of the Lambs and who lent the filmmakers his expertise, explains how he invented and established the practice of criminal profiling. He also discusses individual case histories, including those of Jeffrey Dahmer, Charles Manson, Ted Bundy, and the Atlanta child murders. So definitely outside the range of what I normally read, but what I want to get more into. Then we have a graphic novel. We have Sheets by Brenna Thumler. This is a graphic novel about a girl whose parents own a laundrette. I don't know much more about it, to be honest, but I just don't know how they've made washing items so cute. Like, how do laundry things look adorable? And the art style is just the cutest. So I'm going to go into this one quite blind. I think Steph from Steph Loves enjoyed it, potentially. She at least hauled it. I don't know if she read it and enjoyed it. Maybe I should check that. But yeah, it was on my radar after seeing Steph haul it, and I decided to give it a go. Next, we have two books from Catherine Ryan Howard. We have Rewind and we have The Nothing Man. So I hauled this one, and then a lot of people talked about this one, so I decided to get that one also. Rewind is about Natalie, who goes to an isolated holiday cottage. Andrew is the manager of that cottage, and he's watching Natalie through a hidden camera in her room when a shadowy figure appears on screen, kills the woman and destroys the camera. This is an explosive story about a murder caught on film. You've already missed the start. To get the full picture, you must rewind the tape and play it through to the end, no matter how shocking. Definitely outside my normal comfort zone, even of thrillers. Like, I've never heard of anything like this, but wanted to give that one a go. And then this one sounds even more interesting. The Nothing Man is about... it says, you've read the opening pages of The Nothing Man, the true crime memoir Eve Black has written about her obsessive search for the man who killed her family nearly 2 decades ago. Supermarket security guard Jim Doyle is reading it too, and with each turn of the page, his rage grows, because Jim is the Nothing Man. The more Jim reads, the more he realises how dangerously close Eve is getting to the truth. He knows she won't give up until she finds him. He has no choice but to stop her first. So, about a serial killer with the serial killer being known? Yes, please. Okay, so now I'm going to get on to the books I got in my Come Book Shopping With Me video, which didn't go up that long ago. I will have left timestamps, so you should be able to skip this section if you would like to go back and watch that video, or if you've watched that video and you don't care for what I'm about to say about these ones. Make up your mind, and then I'll start talking about these. The first two I have here are both by Juno Dawson. This one is Say Her Name. This is about Bloody Mary. I don't know much more than that, to be honest. It's a YA story. Bobby and her best friend Naya are dared by their schoolmates, not soulmates, to summon the legendary ghost of Bloody Mary. Neither really believes anything will happen, so they complete the ritual and chant Mary's name 5 times in front of a candlelit mirror. And something is called forth that night, something dark and terrifying and out of control. So not going to read more than that. It is very short, so hoping this scares me. And the next Juno Dawson book I have is Cruel Summer. This is one that I got on Emily's recommendation because she absolutely loved it. I have such a beat up copy, like I'm kind of mad, but if I love it, then I'm gonna buy myself a brand new copy rather than keeping this really ratty one. But this is about Ryan, who's looking forward to spending the summer with his old school friends at Katie's luxurious Spanish villa. He hasn't seen the gang since their friend Janie committed suicide a year ago. He hopes this summer they'll be able to put the past behind them and move on until someone else arrives claiming to have proof that Janie's suicide was murder. Sounds really good, and the way Emily talked about it, I had to get it, so I own it now. Then, luckily, one that doesn't need much talking is Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. This is book number 6. in the Throne of Glass series, and I didn't own it yet because I didn't realise this was the only cover, and I was holding out to get one that matched the other books, and it doesn't exist. So finally gave in and got myself this one. Next, we have The Prank by Alfie Matthews. I won't lie, the only reason I was really drawn to this one is that I share the same last name with this author, so I thought that was cool. But this is, and it's about a reality TV show, which I love in a book. So Al lives a quiet life in London, struggling with the loss of her father, until a chance encounter leads her to discover a link between a hit reality TV show and her father's death. Al realises she can orchestrate the perfect revenge, but her pursuit soon turns to obsession, and she finds she doesn't seem to know how to stop. Her drive for destruction means risking her life and the lives of those closest to her. It's quite chunky. Again, it's one I've seen a lot of people haul, so if one of us can get on and read it, be perfect. Next one, purely on Rachel's recommendation, is All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson. This is a memoir by George M. Johnson, who is a writer, LGBTQIA+ activist. It's them sharing their memories of growing up Black and queer in America. I think just head over to Rachel's channel if you want to hear really good things about this book. That is the sole reason I've bought it. I'm kind of scared going in because of how much Rachel loves it, but I'm sure I will too. Next one that I had to get as soon as I knew it existed is Only Mostly Devastated by Sophie Gonzalez. This is a YA modern Grease retelling. I love Grease. My whole childhood screams Grease. My parents had a joint 30th birthday party and it was Grease themed and I was a cheerleader. We just love Grease in my household, so had to grab it. Next, I have one from one of my favourite authors, but it's a book that a lot of people aren't enjoying, and that is Yolk by Mary H.K. Choi. I went to say yolk, then yolk. Yolk. Haven't looked into it and I'm not going to. I don't want to go in knowing anything. I've loved Emergency Contact and Permanent Record, so I don't know why I wouldn't love this one, but we're going to stay blind. Next, another book from one of my favourite authors, it seems, is Heroine by Mindy McGuinness. This is one I wanted to get my hands on as soon as I knew it was a thing. I've held out for a little bit, but now I've bought it. And all I know is it's about actual heroin addiction. Mindy McGuinness has written some of my favourite books. The one that I read this year is This Darkness Mine. It really, really loved that book. It really spooked me. So yeah, had to grab this. I feel like it's gonna be so hard hitting. Another one that I just had to grab because of another book I read and enjoyed this year is Layla by Colleen Hoover. Verity by Colleen Hoover is my favourite book of the year so far. So when I saw another of her books going on Amazon for £5, I had to own it. And now I do. I don't know what this is about. I went into Verity completely blind and I'm going to do the same for Layla. Next, a sequel to a book I read and loved is Stealing Phoenix by Joss Sterling. This is the sequel to Finding Sky. It's a pretty backlist fantasy series now, published in 2011. But I gave the Finding Sky a chance out of the blue. I'd owned it for a while and decided it was finally time to read it. Loved it, so now I own the sequel. Very short. I don't think it's even 300 pages. It's 260 pages. What's not to love? I still don't even know how to explain the first book. There's some magic, there's some teen drama, there's some like paranormal stuff. It's cool. Still going, we have Lock the Doors by Vincent A. Ralph. This is an author that I read their first book, Are You Watching? I got an ARC of it for winning a giveaway, so I got the ARC from the author and absolutely loved it. It was a 5-star read for me, so I just had to get his new release. Still don't know what it's about. Not gonna find out. Next, a book I got strictly because it was £2, and that is The Book Club by C.J. Cooper. This is a book club thriller. What more would a reader want to read? Next, I have one that is a bit of a backlist title, but it's getting quite a lot of hype lately, and that is Little and Lion by Brandy Colbert. I believe this is a YA novel that tackles mental health issues, bipolar disorder, it says on the back. And I think it's been getting some more hype because of her other book, Finding Yvonne. Did that come out after? I don't even know. But yeah, this one has been around for quite a few years now, but people are starting to pick it up again, so I got it too. Next, one I cannot believe I haven't read yet. This is going to be the book I treat myself with as soon as I've done my next round of exams, I think. That is Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. I cannot wait to read this. This is an age gap, maybe slightly cheating element romance. I don't know. I think that's why people have an issue with this. But this is about, don't even know her name. Don't think her name is on the back. No, I can't seem to find her name, but our main character is dating somebody called Jordan. and she's not really getting on with him that much anymore. And she strikes up a relationship with his dad. So very excited to read this one. And the final book from my Come Book Shopping With Me video will not be a surprise. It's the first book I bought in that video, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. This is the Penguin cloth bound edition. It is absolutely gorgeous. I cannot wait to sit and read this physically. I read the audiobook a month or so ago now, and I needed it to keep forever. So I bought the cloth bound. My next group, before I get on to gifts, are random things I bought solely because of the price. So these are all from Amazon and were all less than £2 each. Like, I couldn't help myself, I really couldn't. The first one is The Poison Garden by Alex Marwood. So I actually got this for free because I ordered it in February and it never arrived. So I complained, got a refund, and it arrived. Saying that, it was only supposed to be £2 anyway. This is about a cult. All I know, love cults. Well, don't love cults, love reading about cults. Next, we have another true crime one, and that is Signature Killers by Robert D. Keppel and William J. Burns. Don't know too much, just interpreting the calling cards of serial murderers, including Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, and John Gacy. Looks like quite a chunker, just about the actual cases, and yeah, I'm not going to turn down true crime for like £1.50. Next, one that I will definitely be saving for Christmas is Love Secret Santa, by S.A. Domingo. I genuinely got this for about £1.50. It just says falling in love isn't on Angel's to-do list, but this Christmas is full of surprises. So I'll be reading this probably in the Christmas readathons I always seem to take part in when I need a book about Christmas. And finally, we have Gotham High by Melissa de la Cruz. This is a comic graphic novel. Melissa de la Cruz wrote the Blue Blood series, which I am currently rereading, and she's just like such a staple author from my teenage reading. So when I saw this, I thought, why not give it a go? Obviously, I'm trying to get more into graphic novels, comics, mangas, all that world. So for £1.50, I got it. This is a reimagining of Gotham. So why not? And finally, onto my favourite section of the video, we have gifts. First of all, I'm going to start with ones from the publishers. So I got Don't Breathe a Word by Jordan Taylor from Harper Teen, and oh my god, I love this book. I read it immediately when I got it. It came out on the 21st of May, so it will be out by the time you see this video, but this is a YA murder. This is a YA mystery set in a boarding school, so really, what more do we all want in books? We all love this. So it was just so good. It was a 5-star. What did I give it? 4.5 stars, I think, and genuinely loved it. So thank you, Harper Teen, for that one. And then I have Burnt Sugar by Avni Doshi. This one is Puffin, but I got it through Tandem, and I haven't actually started the read-along for this yet. I think it starts in the next couple of days. This book got really, really hyped, and I was actually sad with this cover. I wanted the one with the plant. I'm assuming it was something to do, I'm assuming it was sugar, but I don't know, because it was a nicer cover, to be quite frank. But I think it got set up as a read-along because of the new cover, potentially. I don't know. But yeah, don't know anything about this yet. Haven't read it, not looking into it. It's very short. Next, we have a gift from the lovely Victoria. She sent me Greek Myths by Jean Menzies. Do you pronounce it Menzies? Have I got that wrong? But it's Jean from Jean's Bookish Thoughts. Wrote a middle grade book about the Greek myths, and I know nothing about the Greek myths, so I decided to get it, not only to support Jean, but to learn for myself, because I'm clueless. But yeah, this was a congratulations present for passing my exam and put the biggest smile on my face, so thank you again, Victoria. Next, I have a gift from the lovely Becca, and that is Destination Anywhere by Sarah Bernard. Sarah Bernard has become one of my favourite authors, even though I've only read 2 of her books at this stage, but you know, I'm absolutely loving her writing. The back of this book says, after spending her school years bullied and alone, Peyton King is determined to finally find her happiness. With nothing but a sketch pad and a backpack, she buys a one-way plane ticket and gets on a plane. I mean, very unbelievable for me. It's not that simple, but you know, it's fine. And this was just to put a smile on my face, so we absolutely love Becca for that. It is a brand new release this year, and hopefully I can read my other Sarah Bernards and finally read this one. Next, we have a gift from Leandra, and that is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. This book is absolutely gorgeous. I don't think I need to go through what Addie LaRue is about again. I feel like everyone has done that, but this book is one that I was kind of putting off ever buying because I was daunted by it, and now I own it and I'm still daunted, but I want to get to it really soon to thank Leandra for buying it for me, but scared fantasy. Everyone seems to love this book though, so I really feel like it's going to be an absolute winner. I'm just scared. Next we have a gift from Nina, and she got me this one because her name is in the title, and that is Nina Is Not Okay by Shappi Khorsandi. I wanted this book as soon as I realised it existed. Shappi Khorsandi I think is absolutely hilarious. She is a female Iranian comedian, if you're unaware, and I just think she is the funniest. So as soon as I knew she had a book, I've got to give it a go. A review on the back says moving, funny and shocking, so let's hope. But this says, Nina does not have a drinking problem. She likes a drink, sure, but what 17-year-old doesn't? And I think it's something happens, but she can't remember what happened and she feels like she's done something really, really silly. I feel like this is going to be hard to read, like quite hard hitting. I know I personally made only a couple of silly decisions between the ages of like 18 and 21, but it'd be nice to read kind of hard because there's a lot of situations that I think back on and think that could have been so much worse. So yeah, hopefully this isn't too moving. Next I have a gift that I'm just still over the moon from Rachel, technically, and her boyfriend Mark, and that is the first edition hardback set of the Twilight books. Can we appreciate these? I still can't believe I own these. I'm not going to talk about what Twilight is about, but of course we have Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse and Breaking Dawn. Wow, this is heavy. I really want to do a reread of this series very soon, and I probably will. These are just my all-time favourite books, and to own this collection just makes me so happy. Next, I have a gift from my nan, and that is Six Tudor Queens, Catherine Howard, The Tainted Queen by Alison Weir. So this is book number 5 of the Six Tudor Queens series, so you know I'm a little bit out of order, but my nan has been reading these and donating them. She didn't feel like they'd be my cup of tea, and to be honest, I didn't either. But for some reason, I'm really interested to pick up this series, so she gave me the 5th book before getting rid of it, and I guess it will have to sit on my shelves for a little while until I find time to read it, but I'm so grateful. Next, we have 3 gifts from the lovely Gecko. This present was just blew me away. We have Nick and Charlie, Solitaire, and Heartstopper Volume 4 by Alice Oseman. Opening this gift just blew me away. I read Volume 4 that night, like I couldn't leave it, and I haven't got around to these 2 yet, but I really do want to. Heartstopper has been one of my favourite things of this year. I always said I wasn't going to buy into the hype, and I bought into the hype, and I can't wait for Volume 5. These were just such an amazing gift, and I'm so insanely grateful. And the last one I have here is a gift from the lovely Sydney, and that is Come Back to Me by Mila Gray. This is a book about a Marine called Kit, who is Jessa's brother Riley's best friend. He is a Marine. I've said he's a Marine. I'm obsessed on the Marine thing, it seems. And there's just, it says at 11, Jessa first met Kit Ryan. At 14, her crush began, and now she's fallen in love. And I just can't wait. It's like a forbidden romance and a long distance, and I'm just need it in my life now. That's my massive book haul. I hope you enjoyed. If you see a massive book haul in June, tell me off. Don't be scared to type in capital letters in the comments. What are you doing? Please don't do that this time. I needed this book haul. I feel so much happier surrounded by these books, and I've now got to try and find space for them on my shelves, which is worrying in itself. But I needed this. I'm so much happier for owning these books, and I'll try not to do it in June. I promise. But on that note, please do let me know if you've read any of these books and you feel like I need to prioritise them. I'd love to hear your opinions down in the comments. But apart from that, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.